And you're in the main conference.
All right, everyone. We have Gerard Butler joining us. Gerard, are you on there?
No!
Hi there.
Yes.
Hi. We're going to get started with our first question from Ashley with Butler Did It.
Thanks. I'd like to thank DreamWorks and Paramount and Susanna and you, Jerry, for talking to us. And my question is, well, I just want to say that you might consider announcing the Oscar for Best Animated Feature Film next year because this film looks absolutely amazing. It really does. You've spoken about the challenge as an actor of working with a green screen in 300, but there you at least had a costume, props, and other actors in the scenes with you. Since this is your first animated film, what was the most challenging aspect for this particular role?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Karen, can you just mute whatever line that is, please?
Yes, I'll find it. One moment.
Thanks. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm hearing crazy bleeps on the line here.
That should go away in a moment. I apologize.
So I think that, it was probably the same challenges in a lot of ways as were in 300, but perhaps even more, because at least in 300, I had the props and I had the troops around me most of the time, and there was a larger environment, and sometimes we had some of the more immediate set designs that were there, whereas in this we pretty much had nothing, and it's just you wearing your regular clothes with a stool and, in a recording booth, and you're really kind of creating out of nothing, and to be honest, most of the time, not even with the other actors. I think I only had the good fortune to work twice with other actors. The rest of the time was just me and my little lonesome. So creating that, kind of trying to create this believable cheap Viking with so much going on and large speeches and more intimate speeches to the, our talks with the boy from everything in between, the battle sequences, but doing it all just in this little room.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks. Our next question will be with Dana from Gerard Butler Gals. Dana, are you there? If you might be muted, you can press *6. Dana?
That's a good question, Dana.
I think we're gonna move on to Donna from Butler's Pantry.
Thank you. My question comes from Pamela Jane, and she wanted to know which comes first, the animation or the voiceovers, and if it is the animation that comes first, how do you keep up with it doing your voiceover?
Well, in actual fact, no. It's kind of, what comes first? That's a very good question. It's kind of a symbiotic process that you start off by doing the voiceover, to which they kind of animate to, but at the same time, they're always changing the story and a lot of the lines, so you come back in and you revoice, and then they will start, then as the movie goes on, sometimes you start voicing to work with the animation. So it's a real mixture, but it does start with just your voice, because initially, you're not timing, you're just doing doing a performance to which, they start creating the character around.
Great. Dana, did you get back on yet? No. Okay, we're going to go with Larissa and Tamara from GB.net.
Hey, you.
Hey. Okay. In the story, your character Hiccup's dad doesn't understand him. My dad doesn't always understand me in the same way. How does your character show parents how to better understand their children?
Well, your dad's an idiot when he doesn't understand you, Larissa, so you just got to speak to him and make sure that he sees who's boss. No, I think...
You were going to get me in so much trouble.
No, I think that ultimately it's when his father sees his boy as his own being. The beautiful thing about Hiccup here is that at the end of the day, he kind of marches to the beat of his own drum. Not that this is something that he knows in himself, but he knows he's different, and at the end of the day, he trusts in that. And I think that when his father actually stops and sees this and sees that he is his own human being and he has his own path and that he must respect that, then that's when things become really constructive, and that's when we move into a kind of beautiful new territory. And you realize that, me as a father have as much to learn from him, if not more, than he has to learn from me.
Thank you.
Great. Our next question will be back with Ashley from Butler Did It.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the acting performance and working in a sound booth. And I was wondering, since this is your second film involving dragons and your second film playing a Viking, if you used like visualization techniques to help you kind of visualize the island of Berk and the 8th century Viking lifestyle, or did you just come at this from a different approach based on storyboards and the artwork that you'd seen for the film?
No, well, you start off with the storyboards, but and that when I first got involved, I spent a good bit of time kind of looking at them and imagining the world. And then there comes a point where you just have to kind of let go in your own imagination. And I have a bit of experience doing that. I did the, even in the Black Freighter, which was the narrated movie, but especially in 300, even in some respect, Reign of Fire, because those dragons were non-existent when we were filming. So there's been a lot of imagining and pretending, and you learn, how to kind of create those worlds in your head. But without a doubt, this was more of a test than most because, this is a huge animation movie where pretty much everything that exists in the film was not there when I was there, except my voice. That's the only thing that kind of comes out of it. Although what's kind of cool is that they had cameras in the room, and I couldn't understand why they were doing that because it felt like literally I just had my pages on a podium and a stool, and I'm saying, why do you need to be filming this? I mean, I don't want any pressure to have to do anything. I'm just saying the lines. But they then showed me a sequence of some of the performance that I was doing into the actual movie itself, where they had almost exactly replicated my moves as the character, and they were cutting back and forth from the film in the studio to the actual movie itself. So it was really cool to see how much of my personality was used. I mean, even to the extent that when I watched the movie, and I'm sure any of you guys that know me will look and go, oh, there's him being Gerard Butler, those big, what I call overacting. I could really see a lot of the time, you can get away with it in animated movies, but I couldn't believe how many of my physical expressions, my facial expressions, when I was performing in the studio, make it into the film.
They definitely got your frown.
Yeah, I know. And there's a lot of stuff I do with my eyes, and I was looking at it going, oh my God, even I recognize that in me. And then my buddies at the end of the movie were like, oh my, I could so see you in that character, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's good, you can. I agree. Thanks a lot.